Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Adam here with Retro Repairs, and time for another video. So today, as you can see, we've got a PS4 controller. Obviously, it's not that retro, but I mean, kind of retro now, almost. Not really. But we've got chewed up analog sticks here. So as you can see, I have one of those little covers you can buy on eBay or somewhere for pretty cheap. They're not very good. They fall off, they slip, they rotate. In a pinch, it's better than using this, but there's much better option out there. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to replace these sticks, open this up, and get right into it. Before we get started, at the end of the video, please leave a like below, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps. Every subscriber, every like, every comment really helps grow the channel, helps me bring you new content. So let's dive right into this. So first thing we're going to do, obviously, take these covers right off. We're going to need to open this up, flip it over. You can see that they take small Phillips screws. So I've got my precision screwdriver kit. And probably this guy. This is a Phillips 0 size. Or O size, I'm not sure. Nope, that doesn't fit. A little bit smaller. 00 pH. So that feels like the one. So let's take these screws out. I believe there's just 4 of them. Looks like it. It's nice that the PS4 controller doesn't have these special security bits like the I did an Xbox 360 a while ago, and they have special security Torx bits with a post up the middle, so you can't just take a regular Torx driver. You need to have the specific security bit. But let's not babble on too much about Xbox here. So you see some of these are a little bit gross. We're going to need to clean this up, I think, as well. So this will give a good opportunity to get any skin grime and other gross stuff out of this. Okay, so anything that's going to get cleaned up, any small pieces, I mean, just going to throw this into a shot glass with some isopropyl alcohol in it, and just going to let them soak for a little bit. Let that kind of eat away at the dust, the grime, the other gross stuff that's in there. Just set that off. Now we can pop this open. So I haven't opened one of these in quite a while, so bear with me here, but it feels like it's just going to come up. You do need to be careful, though, that you're not tearing any ribbon connectors or anything inside here. All right, so a helpful tool to open this up is going to be this little plastic pry tool, also called a spudging tool. You can get them for really cheap online, eBay, or they often come with little cell phone repair kits or that, but they're helpful for opening up plastic shells without denting and damaging them. You could use a screwdriver, but you risk nicking the plastic and just making it look not good. So I'm going to grab the side of the controller here, get my pry tool in here, and just got to get it open just enough. There we go. There's a little release right there. And so that's popped open the side here. Going to do the same to the other side. And you can see the years of dirt, grime, finger, sweat, grease, who knows? Everything's in there. It's pretty gross. There we go. Okay. I believe there's one right in here too. So there are also 2 tabs right on the bottom here. They might pop out on their own just like that. We just want to try and not break those tabs that you can see there. So the shell is apart, but you notice not quite coming up just yet. You want to grab it. Helps to flip it over sometimes, and pushing down on those R and L buttons, it should just help you finagle your way out. Now be careful. There is a ribbon connector inside here. So we want to flip it over very gently and disconnect it. We can set that off to the side. Make a mental note how it's connected. So if you put the pieces to side by side like this, you'll see the silver parts of that ribbon connector versus the blue goes on the top side there. If you need to take a picture, whatever works for you to remember that. So taking a look in here, you can see that there's a little bit of hair, all sorts of dirt and stuff. So we're going to give this a little bit of a clean. This is also an opportunity if you need to replace the battery. Battery's right here, so you can go ahead and do that if you have a replacement part or if it needs it. If it doesn't need it, maybe don't worry about it. This came from somewhere. I think that came from there. Interesting. Okay. So this guy, I believe it clips right in, and that needs to come out. Okay, so we're going to continue taking the screws out. There's one right here in the middle. Just going to relieve all the connective tension here. Okay. There's probably another one hidden under there. Oh, okay. So this is starting to, you can feel it wiggle. You can feel it coming right up. So there's a ribbon cable right there, which we'll need to get out. In order to do that, this black plastic piece has to come off, I believe. Okay. There it is. So right under the corners here, there is a little bit of a, there's a little release. So you can flip it over here, pop that with my thumb, and then this black plastic piece will come right off. Do the same thing on the other side. Come on. There we go. So that is off to the side. We can remove this ribbon connector, flip up the lock, and it should just slide just out like that. That will allow the board to come up just like so. So this whole part right here will just lift right up. You flip it over, take a look at the buttons and everything. So this is not too bad. It's pretty clean. You can clean it up if you're having issues with the inputs of some of these buttons, but this is not really the issue. The issue is these sticks. And then, of course, the shell itself, we just want to give it a bit of a clean. So going to set this to the side. Let's clean that right now. It's not going to get a super deep clean, but I want to try and get as much of the grime up as possible from the edges here. So just going to take some isopropyl alcohol, some paper towels, rub my way along the edge here. You can use your fingernail to kind of get in any grooves that are there. We just want to get all this gross stuff kind of up and out. Make it look a little bit better. Like you can see how kind of thick and caked on that all is. It's not the nicest looking, but there we go. Okay, so let's put that off to the side. Let's do the same thing on the bottom part of the shell. Okay. So, put the shell parts to the side. This is what we're going to be focused on here, is these sticks. So the sticks actually just pop straight up like that. And you can buy replacement ones. So I bought a bag of these. I think they were on eBay or somewhere. I believe they're the same ones as well that the Xbox One uses. So don't quote me on that, but I think they're the same. And you can just, all you do pop them right in like this. And that's just a way better looking stick. So this is the original one that came with the PlayStation 4. It's a little worn down and it feels notably rubberier. This has a nice kind of textured feel to it. But most importantly, it doesn't look like this. Over time, these just wear out. My Xbox 360 wore out. This is worn out. There's going to be others that wear out. So they will need to be addressed at some point. So let's put this all back together. This is kind of the tricky part, getting it all lined up nicely, but shouldn't be too bad. Make sure the posts go through the post holes properly. Make sure that you're reconnecting this ribbon connector. Give it a good push. Make sure that everything feels sturdy. Slap that guy in here. Lock it. Don't forget to lock it. This is what this touchpad is relying on, so that should be good. Make sure this is all flat. Flip it over, make sure your buttons are all there, which they are. If the insides of your buttons are really gross, you could take those out. You could clean them. I usually do it in a, fill the sink up with hot water and soap, and away she goes. This will go back on there. I'm going to throw that screw in right now just to hold everything together. There we go. So that's nice and sturdy. So this guy can just should just clip right in here. Line up the posts and let's go here. There we go. All right, so that's in place. That just holds the battery. Pop the battery in, make sure that these wires are going under the guide that's right here. If you're having trouble, you can always put the wires in first and then slap the battery in. Or you can use tweezers or some other little tool just to get them under there. There we go. Make sure that you are reconnecting the battery. No sense having a battery in here that's not plugged into anything. There we go. This little piece sits right in there. I'm actually not sure what the function of that is. I think it just kind of holds everything together. Oh, it's the reset button. I see. So that's how you can hit that reset. Good to know. Okay, so we're gonna now reconnect the ribbon connector. Remember the orientation that you made a mental note of before. Just going to slide that in like that. Now the tricky parts sometimes can be getting this all lined up. There's a little bit of skin gunk there I actually want to get rid of before we put this together. So let's get just my alcohol and a paper towel. Try and clean that up before we put it all back in. Okay, so we're going to line up these buttons in the back here. Actually, sorry, you got to loop the front. You got to loop the front over these posts. And then you got to get the buttons back here aligned. And then it should just snap in nicely, just like so. Give it a bit of a press on each side. You should feel those clicks. So there were two snaps at the front, one on the sides of each, so it should all sit nicely in here. Then I'm just going to grab those screws out of my alcohol so they should be a little cleaner. Give them a little bit of a blot dry with the paper towel and put the screws back in. Oops, that was the lid for my alcohol. Okay, so there we go. Give the rest of the shell a bit of a wipe down if you need to. If there's any kind of gross stuff just on the sides here. Over time there inevitably will be, just from being used so much. But there we have some nice new analog sticks for that. As you can see, it's connected. In the other room, my PlayStation's probably turning on, so we are good to go here. I'll give that a test off camera, but everything should be all set and ready to go with some nice new sticks, so much more comfortable playing in the future. So that's going to be it for today. I want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Always happy to take requests where possible. If you want to see something worked on in the future, I can always try and keep an eye out for something that's just not working. It's something I can pick up and fix. Once again, please like the videos if you liked it. It really helps the channel. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. I get to see the stats of how many subscribers are watching versus non-subscribers, and I mean, if all of you subscribed, you'd be able to see all the content right away. We'd hit that goal of reaching 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, which I think is very manageable. But that's enough of that. Just want to thank you once again. Really appreciate your views. And as always, we'll see you next video.